Minecraft Origins Explained. The Voidling origin is created by the Discord user known as Neo the Wolf. This is a 3-impact origin. A creature of the void, you don't like exposing yourself to others and very often, and you go transparent in the light. Dissipate. Press the primary ability key to dissipate into mist. If you hit something or get hit by someone, you will become solid again. So run into it as you move around. You press G. As you look around, you're completely invisible, but let's say we bump into... Go in survival mode here. As we can see, the husk doesn't know where our whereabouts is. We bump into them though. Zombies immediately know where you are when you bump into them when you're invisible, so it's a very interesting mechanic to keep in mind. Most other mobs will also follow the same thing. If you bump into a mob when you're invisible, they will discover where you are. As you can see, we go back to being invisible. The zombie's still tracking is still tracking us, unfortunately. As you see, when we get hit again, we're now visible again. Soft landing. You take less fall damage, but you don't take any if it's a less than a 10 block fall. It pretty much means that in most cases of average fall damage when you're exploring the world, let's just say you're waltzing around in this area here, you're doing a good old run and jump. You don't take fall damage here because it's less than 10 blocks. Anything that you would take for a 10 block fall damage, you'll ignore entirely. 10 blocks... But if you go higher than 10 blocks, you will unfortunately start to get into a point where you take damage, but overall, it's less damage. That still killed me because, well, that was, I think, 20-ish blocks or something ridiculous. But let's say we get this spot here. Jump. No fall damage from that height. Healthy night. You gain 5 extra hearts at night. As you can see, we've got 10 hearts in the daytime. We go to time set midnight. And now suddenly we have 15 hearts, making us a little bit more buff and a bit more tougher in the nighttime. Night wings. Wings sprout from your body during the nighttime. And now another thing to worry about as we go out, as you can see, we're now wearing elytra. If we go back to time set day, you can see the elytra disappears, you lose those 5 hearts, and you're transparent again. Going back to being at midnight, your elytra reappears, and your skin goes back to being transparent again. Scared of swords. You don't like using swords, they give you a bit of fright whenever you hold them. Go into creative mode here, we grab out a sword, and we put it in inventory. As you can see, whenever you try to deal damage with a sword, you will do absolutely nothing. Like, dealing damage with a sword, it's impossible, don't even try. Don't make a sword. Absolutely worthless. Duller axes. You don't normally make axes, so they tend to make them a bit more duller than usual. Again, same deal with the sword, except for the fact that you can still do some form of damage. If we get ourselves a husk out here, put them down, and we just go boom. As you see, you can still do damage, and ultimately it's not detrimental types of damage loss. You just, like, you can still 2-shot with axe crits on zombies, so it's not too problematic when it has top tier weapons. It's just going to make having axes in the early game just a little bit more annoying because you do a little less damage. Avoid vision. You can see where others are whenever you press your secondary ability key. We're in a little bit of a place here. There's a bunch of mobs over here. Let's just go a little closer. You can see the mobs over here. We press Y, now they're glowing. Effectively, it's a very simple ability that causes mobs to glow for a short period of time, I'm assuming. Yeah, probably about 10-15 seconds you'll be able to have glowing mobs for, and then they'll stop glowing again, and you'll have to wait a fair bit of time before you can do it again. Great way to keep track of where mobs are throughout the world, especially when you're roaming around inside of a cave or something like that. You hear, let's say, a zombie through the walls or any form of mob along those lines. You just press the button and then you can see, well, everything that's somewhat close to you. Keep in mind that if you're not close enough, the ability won't actually glow them in the air. As you can see, only one mob over there was glowed. All the other ones weren't because they weren't close enough. Quick dodge. Whenever you take damage from anything, you will randomly teleport. You've probably seen that ability in action already throughout the showcase of this origin. Let's come over here. As we see, we get hit by a spider and we teleport elsewhere. Spider's still chasing us, we now teleport again. It's not too far of a distance thing. As you see, oh, get out of here. Yeah, we got killed by a creeper. Like, you get teleported, I would say about 5-ish blocks away each time. It's not something game-changing, but it's enough to, let's say, give you a bit of a potential upper hand in cases where you need it. It gives you maybe a little bit of an ability to escape a situation because it puts you a little bit out of, let's say you get covered by a horde of mobs. it puts you away from them. But keep in mind, this won't always work as wanted. It might sometimes just teleport you right back where you were, but it's somewhat useful. Ravenous Hunger. You can eat food at a much faster rate than others, inhaling entire dishes with ease. As you can see by the million tooltips here, it is vomit all the foods. You go out here. Yeah, so it all says inedible, which is a very interesting tag, but if you grab it and then you eat it, it just instantaneously eats it rather than, well, takes forever. So we go back to survival mode here. One thing you need to keep in mind, unlike with what happens with typical vanilla eating of food, you can't eat more food when you're already at full hunger. This ability lets you eat food at any given time by simply right clicking on the food. So that's a potential problem you may want to be very wary of, because it will catch you off guard and you may accidentally scoff down more food than intended. Lifesteal. You have a chance of getting a bit of health back after killing something. This ability probably won't see too much of a use overall. Like, it just effectively relies on you being able to do enough damage to kill something. I don't know. It can be useful, but also useless at the same time. Yeah, I didn't get any health back there. It's not always going to be a winner. You're not always going to get the form of health back from the lifesteal, but it's definitely an ability that may help out in scenarios that you may need it in. Again, it's not entirely a useful thing. One bit of criticism I want to give right away: whenever we do Origins, can we please try not to colorize the text too badly? Purple in this case does not look good on the backdrop of typically grey, which is why most people just stick with the typical white writing, but I suppose in this situation it's not horrible. Anyway, now let's do the fun part and take the Origin to the Warden to have ourselves a little bit of a fight. 2, 3, it's gonna be interesting. So, nah, unfortunately, Warden does too much damage, so you don't get the teleportation thing. Yeah, that's funny. Thank you for all the support as of late, everybody. It's been absolutely amazing. We're closing on 50k a lot quicker than I ever expected. So if you've been enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe button down below. Now click this video on screen to watch some more Origins content, and I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bye bye.